Hello, everyone. This is Tech Beardos episode number 2. I'm here with Ian, my co-host, to talk about basically Web3, crypto, and tech in general. And yeah, happy to be here. This is Luca from Voltage Finance. Ian, how's you been doing?
Ian from Fuse Network. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's we've got so much going on at Fuse at the moment. It's really been crazy couple of months, to be honest. But specifically in the last couple of weeks, we've just launched an FRC, which is a Fuse request for commentary. So it's like we're asking our community to come and make comment on one of the latest upgrades we want to make to the network. So more community vibe. We've had some really good feedback there, some good votes. And yeah, I'd really encourage everybody to jump in and go and vote. Like, it's very important. It will have an effect on the tokenomics of Fuse. So that's what we've been working on recently and just trying to get that information out there. So it's been super busy. But I don't think I've been as busy as you, Luca. Like, I've not even spoken to you for about 3 weeks. You've been so busy. What have you been doing, man?
Yeah, man, it's been really packed period for Voltage here because after months of building, there's a moment where you can finally put out what you've been working on, right? And
Yeah.
for us, it was a big milestone to launch the Vault app. So we've been talking about the Vault app for months now. I remember you and me did like an interview on this one. It's finally out. We opened it to the 500 first users to test it, to be sure, and then we'll open it to the rest. It has exclusive access to liquid staking, which is in the second feature we launched. It's only available on the Vote app right now, especially because we want to reward the community that's been active. And thirdly, but not the least, we listed yesterday the Vote token on MEXC, so the first major listing for the Vote token, which was really successful. So the whole community is buzzing. We're all happy, and we also launched, not launched, but revealed our roadmap for the next quarter, which is also packed with another listing, a launchpad to help the Fuse ecosystem grow as well, and yeah, lots of stuff. So if you want to check it out, just go to our Twitter, Vote Finance, and you'll see the pin post. It's the roadmap. But enough talking about Voltage. Let's dive into our today's subject. And it's going to be about crypto payments. So it's one of our favorite topics here at Voltage and Fuse because we're focused on how to bring utility from crypto to the real world, right? And this is what, like, one of the main topics: crypto payments, right? And more specifically, the benefits of accepting crypto payments for merchants and retail, basically.
Yeah, definitely, man. And like, one of the biggest things we want to do today is that this is a topic that's out there at the moment, and merchants and businesses, entrepreneurs, small to medium businesses we're talking about here, big barriers to kind of using digital payments. So what we want to do is describe how you can leverage crypto payments. It's really not that difficult, but I think there's a lot of fear around the topic. So we want to try and dispel a lot of that. So let's get right into it, I reckon, Luca. Let's talk about the benefits, and then we'll jump into some of the most commonly asked questions. Because when we talk about this stuff, we get thrown questions all the time.
Yeah.
So we want to answer those as well. But one of the first benefits is that crypto payments they're faster and they're more secure transactions. That's like a main benefit. So and cryptocurrency payments are near instantaneous, right? Transactions take a couple of seconds to process. And because a blockchain DTL technology is immutable, you can't alter or tamper these payments. You can't alter these transactions in any way. So that's what immutable means, and it can't be changed. So once it's happened, it cannot be messed with, basically. And this makes crypto payments more secure than traditional payment methods. So that's one thing. Right. Luca, what's next?
Yeah, but like, for example, the one thing that's it's especially important for merchants is the fees, right? The fees they get on when they receive payments, right? Especially if you're like a small business, the fees can literally cut your margin off, right? So another real huge benefit of crypto payments is, you said right, it's fast, it's reliable, but also it's cheap compared to like Visa or MasterCard ones that are actually tens of years old, right? It's like how old is Visa? How old is a MasterCard? Like 50, 70 years old, something like this. It's an old system.
Pre-internet, man. Like, it's pre-internet technology, isn't it? And I think one thing that's really important for us to say at the beginning is we're not trying to say that finance is broken. Well, I'm not anyway. Maybe Luca wants to say that, but I'm not saying the finance is broken, because just today I've used my bank card and it worked fine, right? So we're not saying finance is broken. What we're saying is that this is the evolution of finance, that this is going to come and get us anyway. So you may as well prepare. Just like AI is now coming to take people's jobs slightly. It's not new news. We knew about this a decade ago. So what we're doing here is just talking about the evolution of payments. So it's quite important to get that out as well. And yeah, being cheaper, massively beneficial. And we'll jump into the prices later. The next thing is that when you're using crypto payments, you can really have a global reach, right? Because merchants can expand their customer base beyond the geographic location that they are in. So say, for example, they're in the USA, they can sell products outside of the USA quite easily because crypto doesn't have any borders in regards to payments like that. And cryptocurrencies are also not subject to the same regulatory restrictions as normal currencies. So they allow merchants to accept customer payments in countries where they don't have payment infrastructure. So, for example, like a guy in Africa wants to buy a T-shirt, and there's a guy in London, and the guy in London can easily buy it, but the guy in Africa doesn't have access to Visa, MasterCard systems, so he can't buy it. That's not fair. And it's also not great for the person selling his product because they want to sell to everyone, right? So that's another one as well.
Right, right. And also there's another point I would like to touch point on is like we know how much communities are attached to their crypto, right? Like for example, we saw yesterday with the vote listing on Mexi how the community was
Yeah.
buzzing and was proud to be part of the community, proud to be able to trade their tokens, proud to use it on the app. So what I mean by that is also a great opportunity for merchants to just like tap into this community feeling, right? And I say, hey, I accept your I accept your token. You can pay in your token if you want, right? So then like people would be incentivized to like use that merchant over another one if he has the crypto you like, right?
Definitely. Like increasing customer loyalty. And we'll talk about this later because I think it's actually not a new concept again. Like I liken it to like store cards. I think it's very similar concept. We're just evolving it again, which is what we said. So the final point, because we've got 5 points is always a nice number. So accepting cryptocurrency payments can enhance a merchant's brand image. And this is something that Luke has just touched on here as well. By embracing cutting edge tech and innovation, merchants position themselves differently. So as a merchant, you may have a really good audience of people that really love your products. By embracing crypto payments, you could potentially add an entirely different audience that weren't really paying attention to you before. So like Lucas said, the crypto tribes, we are quite strong. And when we see someone that's also embracing it in the retail world, we will gravitate there. So it can be very strong for us as well. So is that 5? Yeah, I think we did 5.
Yeah, there you have it, guys. Five benefits of accepting crypto payments for merchant, right? And like I would like to push on a little stats here as well that I read earlier a couple of days ago about about adoption, right? Because it comes together with the flow of adoption from young generations, like me as an for example, you know. For example, like let me read that out. But like a recent study stated that 43% of millennials credit union customers, so members, actually had crypto, but like because they don't have it through their normal basic credit card, they use different institutions. So that means that even though they're using traditional finance services where they exist, they also have crypto. 43% is a huge number, right? So what I mean by that is that we're seeing the trend, right? We're seeing that millennials, young generation, start to understand the benefit of crypto decentralization and and all that topic, and they start to like get a little bit of that, you know, like have a little piece of that, right? Even though their own service that they trust do not provide it, they're still wanting to have a slice of that, right? So it means that we're moving in the right direction.
I think so. Yeah, that's a really important point. Like, and that data there, I've been also, you know, in the same stretch as that. I think millennials and that generation are quite used to using apps to manage their finances as well. Whereas we probably, wasn't used to that. I was using like a really old school, like I'd have to phone the bank, like, and obviously I've evolved as a person and I now want to use these applications to manage my finances. So again, evolution of kind of financial management. The banking apps were super slow to catch up. Like they're still pretty crappy in my opinion. When I use a banking app comparative to like a Challenger Bank, for example, they're not even the same. Like it's anyway. So are things moving in the right direction with crypto payments? Yes, like platforms like WooCommerce and WordPress are embracing crypto payment plugins. Fuse's business and Web3 payments company Charge has actually developed one of these, and it's going to become available on WooCommerce and WordPress. So if you've got an e-commerce store and you can still be accepting fiat payments, you can also now add crypto payments to the mix. So it's definitely going in the right direction. But as we said at the beginning, what happens is we talk about all this stuff and merchants and businesses are a little bit not scared, but perhaps more just like unsure of certain aspects of what we've just spoken about. So big questions get thrown back at us. So next, what we want to do is dive into those questions and try and kind of blow away any myths around this as well. So the four main questions that I hear a lot is it cheaper than Visa? How do I onboard customers into crypto payments, which is valid? These are really, really valid. How do I get the money into fiat money? So you're collecting crypto payments. How do you then cash out? That's important. And what crypto are people sending me? This one's a biggie for me because most people I speak to don't know what stable coins are. They think they're going to be taking payment in it's like the Bitcoin pizza thing, right? You pay, those pizzas are worth millions now, right? That's not what's going to happen. So let's work through these questions. Luca, why don't you answer the biggie? Is it cheaper to use crypto payments than it is to go with a system like Stripe or PayPal or Visa?
Yeah, definitely. This is actually a point I made earlier, right? It's actually cool to dive in this. I think you have a cool picture to put out here, right?
One sec. There it is. So this is comparing Charge, which is a Fuse product. So just for argument's sake, that's why we're showing that. So
yeah, this is as you can see on the left is the Charge. It's like one example out of the many companies that do that basically, right? But this is of course the Fuse one, right? So we want to present this one. But let's have a little look like at the different ones, right? So on average, a merchant pays around 1% and 3 cents per transaction using crypto payments like Charge, right? And on the other hand, with Stripe or PayPal, it's 2.9% and 3 cents. So that means it's like a times 3. So like on a $1,000 transaction, Stripe and PayPal are taking almost $30 instead of Charge taking only 10. Like now you start to see how much fees they're making, right? How much out of your hard-earned money they're making, right? And here, like the deep DeFi guy that I am is a bit, like a bit pissed off, right, when he sees this because well, there are new solutions now. There are new solutions that are really easy to implement. We'll talk about that later, but also that are much cheaper and much more efficient. And like Visa, MasterCard, those things are really old. They're like pre-internet. Can you imagine like pre-internet? How old is that, right? And now we have opportunities for merchants to like basically earn more money out of doing the same thing they used to do, right? That's a big
it's
thing.
Also like we're talking about small to medium and entrepreneurs here as well, because we know that if you read in the news, you see that companies like Starbucks are rolling out this Polygon backed wallet. This is like a $50 million campaign even to get it off the ground, right? The guy who runs 5 stores across whatever country it is that wants to scale, he ain't got 50 million pounds to be going into programs like this. So another benefit of this is that it's actually affordable to small business, whereas in the other system, it really isn't. And the barriers are massive, like you say, Luca. 30 quid on 1,000, and some people might be thinking, oh, it's nothing. Let's call it 100,000. It's a lot of money to be losing for nothing, right? So good one. I like that. And I think that image is powerful as well.
Yeah, before diving into another point, I would like to explain why. Like quick explanation to anyone that would be like, hey, what's the tech? Why is it cheaper, right? What kind of wizardry is this, right? so basically, it's because of the decentralization network. You don't really have that much relayers that are in the middle. They're like middlemen that need to validate transaction, make it go through to another institution. So it's validated, right? And it takes days. And if it's the weekend, well, too bad. You need to wait for Monday, right? Things like this. This is not the case with crypto because crypto works 24/7. That's the first. Secondly, it's really efficient. I mean, like for example, if I want to send a crypto payment to Ian, he can receive it in like a few seconds. Like it's not like you have to wait an hour to validate the transaction. You have to wait in the shop, wait that the transaction go through. Right, it goes really fast, and also because there are no intermediaries, you pay less fees because of course each intermediary takes a little cut out of the fee, right? So the benefits here is it's much more efficient, like it's quicker. Also, it's peer-to-peer, so you don't have any middleman that's taking a cut.
That's the main thing, right? Like you just imagine like a chain of people all holding hands and they make the chain of payment. Blockchain's just removing like 10 of them out of the equation. all those delays. And another thing people probably don't realize is when you send money, so if I send money to you on an app, it may arrive on your screen immediately. Has that money actually moved from me to you? No. Like that's just a bit of trickery there, basically, that says that you've got it, someone's credited it to you, but my physical payment hasn't made it to you yet. So from the outside, everything looks rosy and beautiful, but if you just scrape away that surface, it's all a bit broken under there, basically. So, all right. So the next one, this is another big question that we hear is how do I onboard customers into crypto payments? So this for me is the most valid. I guess people are sitting there thinking this all sounds great, but how do I get my customers using crypto to pay me? So two things. We mentioned earlier that there'll be a whole bunch of people that are holding crypto that will straight away be like, cool, this is a good thing. I'm going to embrace your service. I'll use it. That's one group of people. They have a bit of knowledge. They're educated on crypto payments and wallets. This for them would be very straightforward and easy. Now we've got the other side of the market. You've got a whole bunch of customers, 50 plus people, maybe, let's say, for argument's sake, you're selling woolen jumpers. And you just think, how am I going to get these people to use crypto payments? It's beyond the realm of imagination. It's not. So one thing I think is really important is how do you get people using your service? Well, you need to incentivize that service, and this blockchain and the use of crypto allows you to do this, right? So we talked about these benefits at the start. Now I want to talk about store cards here because I think it makes a good example of loyalty and how do you get customers using these things. So think about store cards as an easy way to get your head around the idea, like the Starbucks card. Now, I only know about this stuff because I used to work in Starbucks like a long time ago, and they released this card. And I remember thinking, who's going to use this card? Like, you can just pay with your debit card. Why is there any benefit to me putting 100 quid on this card? So obviously Starbucks were like, well, if you do this, we'll give you a discount. You can earn loyalty reward points for using our system. But also the real kicker for Starbucks is when you uploaded your $100 onto the card, that was one transaction for which Starbucks had to pay their fees. Now, when I use my card, there's no fees because it's an internal mechanism that's taking payment from me. So Starbucks is winning, right? They're winning hands down. They're reducing their transactional costs. Great. Customers are getting a cool card, which is, number one, it gives you a bit of status if you're into that kind of stuff. But number two, can give you rewards. So the customer card was like the earliest version of this, I thought, as well. So now Starbucks have made a wallet, as we mentioned earlier, and they're going to basically do the same thing, but using a digital wallet. That's what we're describing. So you can create an app. If you have an app already, you can integrate this stuff into it, and you can allow customers to swap a certain amount of fiat money for a certain amount of crypto, maybe a stable coin like USDC, and then they can just use that with you in your store. And they can also use that elsewhere, depending on how the application is set up and things like that. But yeah, how do you onboard them? You have to incentivize them. So if Luca walks into my shop and he sees something he likes, and I can say to him, you can pay $20 in cash, or if you pay $20 in crypto, I'll give you 5% back, and I'll give you a 5% discount on your purchase. Now, he's got a decision to make. It's on him. But I can try my hardest to push that as a better way to make payments. And the money is staying within our little group. He's sending it to me. I'm keeping it. Visa doesn't touch it. It's all better for everybody involved, the seller and the buyer. So it's all about incentives, marketing. Yeah, it is on you, the merchant, to persuade people to use this new system. But the system allows you to reward them, which is powerful. Like giving 10% back on a purchase in a crypto, that's awesome. Like, so right. There's ways to do it, but it's not like the app is just gonna do it for you, right? You're gonna have to educate your users, you're gonna have to onboard them. So yeah, that's a question I hear all the time, but I think it's not that hard.
Right, but there's an opportunity behind this as well. Like, for example, like I'll maybe I'll go too deep, but I'll think it's interesting. The idea here is that, for example, like if I'm a merchant, I have a store, right? And I have loyalty cards. And I say to my clients, hey, if you put I don't know, that much money or whatever, if you put money on that card, this money will then be staked on the validator. And then you earn 15% a month interest on it. A year interest on it, right?
Yeah.
So like at the end of the year, if I keep my money in there, I can have articles for free. without even like investing my money, right? It's basically free money being built out of the network, right? So like there are tons of opportunity there as well, right? Even for the merchant himself, like imagine having your treasury growing from by itself. How does that sound,
Exactly
right?
right.
That sounds amazing, right? I mean,
Yep.
if I'm have a big treasury, like 100,000 treasury to buy things, just take it, 15% on it. That's a lot of money, right? At the end of the year.
Exactly.
So at the end of the yeah, I mean, there's benefits from ranging from the merchant to the customer as well, in terms of how crypto could like literally supercharge the whole ecosystem, and then how your business works. It's like actually it's a new business model, could be
It
also,
is. That's
right?
it. It's a new model. It's a new way of looking at things and rewards. And something I thought about while I was like doing this podcast stuff yesterday and kind of putting all this stuff down is that you very rare, like we just talked about advertising the fact that you accept crypto payments, right? And making a bit of a deal about it and using it as a marketing mechanism.
Right.
I don't see many people doing that with Visa. Actually, I don't see anybody doing that with Visa. Like, oh, we take Visa. We're the one, right? Like you don't see that. It's not a thing. Like it might have been 30 years ago, but it's not a thing now. So yeah, I don't know, it's a different ways to look at it. But yeah, it's like a whole new business model because of, and not one that you need to rely on other people to help you with either. You are literally designing your economy. Like you want to give 10%, give 10%. Nobody's stopping you, right?
Exactly. But like
Super.
now let's talk about the other side of things, right? You were talking about how to like on board, but like let's say how to off board now, right?
How to
I'm
get
a
out of there,
merchant,
yeah.
I have taxes to pay, and my supplier maybe doesn't take crypto, I need to pay in dollars or whatever, right?
Oh,
There's thousand reasons why you want to switch back to fiat.
yeah.
And here, like it's often we receive the question often like, okay, great guys, I get my payments in crypto, but now how do I convert it into dollars again, right? So actually, this has been a space that's been improving amazingly over the last 2 years,
Yeah.
since we've seen the growth of DeFi, the growth of CeFi as well. I mean, right? It's been growing a lot. So there are thousands of solutions now to off ramp. I want to take the one in the one I know the most because it's the one in the Vault app we launched. Is it's really easy. Like you have your crypto on the app. You say, all right, I want to offboard, so I want to sell my crypto for fiat, and then your fiat gets credited to the bank account you want. It's like 3 clicks. You just select the crypto you want, select the amount, then it auto calculates how much you're going to receive in dollars, depending on the chart. And then just click okay, send, choose the bank you want to send it to, choose your account. That's done. So it's actually pretty fast. You don't really have to worry about this at all.
And that's a massive concern of people, isn't it? That I guess you're hearing the same things, that people are like, what do I do with this crypto? Like, how do I manage it? What do I do? And I guess then, I mean, so the answer is that it's actually really simple. And you just offboard your crypto back into fiat just as you came in. So it's not that difficult, really. Obviously, then questions arise around accounting, other aspects of kind of day-to-day business running as well. But if you look through the ecosystem on Fuse, there are solutions for that. There's blockchain accounting firms out there. You literally put your transactional records in and there you go, bada bing, there's your yearly statements. Like it's not that hard. It's it's actually fairly straightforward. All right, so that was a good one, Luke. I like that. What crypto are people sending me? This is the main one where people are like, if I get paid in Bitcoin, then maybe my t-shirt's only going to be worth 1 pence tomorrow and it's worth 20 quid today. So no one, you can take Bitcoin payments if you like that's fine. You can accept payment in any crypto. But what we're discussing is taking payments in a stable coin. So stable coins, just to quickly outline what they are, whole bunch of different stable coins, either algorithmically pegged or otherwise. And what they do is it's a crypto that is pegged to a fiat currency. So the pound doesn't go up and down like crazy. Well, sometimes it does at the moment, but it's not going up and down like crazy every day. You've got one fraction of a penny fluctuations. So that's why we call them stable, because then you can make payments and receive payments in these coins, because then you're not losing, and for all the reasons we just said. So that's really important. How are people, what crypto are you getting? So 2 choices. They can send you a stable coin, right? So you get your stable coin, it's in dollars. There's other stable coins. There's a euro stable coin. There's a pound stable coin. I think that's it in terms of major ones. So you can take money in dollars fundamentally, and then just flip it over to fiat money and everything's great. There's also the Fuse stablecoin as well, which you can use within the wallet app. So yeah, it's basically if somebody buys a t-shirt for $1, tomorrow it's still worth $1. Nothing's changing, everything's the same. So really important, I think. Don't, as a merchant, as an entrepreneur, as a business, you don't have to just work with Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of these tokens that's going up and down all the time, because that would be crazy, right? Who's going to do that? So yeah, it's very important to understand stable coins. You can read into those. But yeah, fundamentally, that's the best way to do business. Or you can create your own token. So you could have the Luca coin, and it's for the Luca shop, and people can choose to pay in those. And like Luca can reward them back to me, and I can save them up. And then at the end of the year, I can come and buy all his shop up with my free tokens. So many different ways to go about business, but overall, pretty easy stuff. Maybe I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I think it all depends also on your vision, right?
Yeah.
Like crypto is a rabbit hole. once you start understanding the details, once you start diving into how it works and what's the benefit, you probably see the bigger picture as well. What I'm saying by that is, like, for now, maybe you want to start with stablecoins because you're like, I want my money to be stable and I want like it to fluctuate, right? But like this is thinking is only going to go down, right? But what happens when you think it's going to go up, right? So okay, you can start off saying, okay, first step would be, okay, I accept payment in stablecoin. Just add it to your cashier. USDC, USDT payments allowed, right? On whatever network you prefer. Maybe the ones with the least fees, Fuse, for example. And then what you could do, second step is you could do, okay, part of this stable coins I'm going to stake. Like, for example, if you have FUSD, you can stake it for, like, I think right now it's 12% annual return. So you can stake your FUSD for 12%, and whenever you need it, you can pay suppliers, maybe with the free tokens you earn, right? So that's one thing. That's the second step. Third step would be like, okay, I accept other cryptos as well because I believe in the long-term value of those crypto. For example, Bitcoin, there's only 21 million, and if there are more people that want it but less supply or not much more supply, then you know what happens to the price, right? So it's a question of vision. I do believe in like merchants that will step in crypto to start to accept crypto are basically really early right now, and they are the ones that will drive adoption as well. I believe adoption will also go through businesses, but also they're positioning themselves to get the most out of the uptrend that we might see with crypto adoption.
Totally. And you're right. It's about the vision you have of the industry, what you see for cryptocurrencies in the future, whether or not you've just sat around reading all the kind of negative news around DeFi and hacks. And yeah, I suppose you're totally right. Like if you buy into this as the future, like I think the argument has been made, it's pretty compelling. It's obviously going to happen. I think it's not really debatable anymore, in my opinion. So it's just a case of getting ahead of the crowd, isn't it, really? But yeah, you're right. People who embrace this stuff are early. They will reap the rewards of being early, I believe, just as many crypto people have by being involved in this space so early. But yeah, it's why we want to talk about this stuff is because there's a lot of fear around it, and a lot of stuff in crypto is theoretical. I think, Luca, like you read a headline and then you read the bulk of the information and you're like, oh, it's not even real. Like it's literally just an idea that somebody had and it's 10 years away from realization. And I think that's hurt us a little bit in our space, that a lot of it is theoretical and you kind of take everything you read with a pinch of salt. So if a merchant sees accept crypto payments, they think, really? Or is it just you lot hyping it all up again? So why we want to do this stuff is to really sort of dispel all that. And it is possible and it is fairly straightforward and you can be a pioneer in the space and jump in. So yeah, I hope we've kind of outlined it quite simply today. That's always our ambition. I think we did all right, Luca. It's not the most complicated topic, is it?
No, I think it's a topic we really have close to our hearts, right? That Fuse and Voltage. Fuse is mostly focusing on businesses and Voltage more on retail. So it's actually real cool that we can come and sit together and talk about it because we have two viewpoints that are complementary. So I believe there's value there. Also, I would recommend everyone watching, right? Come check out Fuse. They have amazing stuff that are going to launch soon. Cannot disclose too much, right, Ian? But yeah, I definitely check them out. And if you're more retail side, come see Voltage. We have great stuff for early members too. We have an airdrop that is going to the early Volt app adopters. Liquid staking as an exclusive reward, and also lots of stuff. If you check out our new roadmap.
It's really cool. I think liquid staking is awesome as well. Like that's a great product to have on the app as well. And I think that people are really going to embrace that. It's just so easy. Like I've done it. I was messing around in the app the other day. Super easy to do. It just feels very smooth. Like it doesn't feel like crypto.
Right. And like even if we take liquid staking for merchants, like let's link the both, right? Imagine the potential here. Like if you're a merchant, you have Fuse because you've been paid in Fuse, right? You can literally stake your Fuse, earn 15% annual. Right now it's 15%, and then have like a proxy token that you can use to do other stuff, right? So like it's opening new doors for your business. That's it.
And it's like you can say you put all your net profits and revenues into staking, and you can make them out. You receive rewards for this, right? Now the instant assumption is that the merchant is just going to keep this money. Like that's probably not what's going to happen. Actually, it's going to be rewarded back to the community for actually taking part in this service. This is money generated for free, technically, that can then be redistributed to the customers. Now, obviously, it's up to the person running the app whether they choose to do this, but that's the way this works. So it's just a different, like we said a couple of times, it's just a whole different way of looking at things. Like it's not the same as what you did in the past. And I think people struggle with the idea that like they can do this. Oh, I can stake my money on an app and make 15%, and then I can take it out and nobody has to say yes or no. And I don't need any approvals. Something's weird here.
Exactly.
Like I think that's what people think. It's like too much freedom, too much opportunity almost. So yeah, lots of cool stuff to embrace. And if you're a merchant out there or an entrepreneur, or you've got a small to medium business and you just want to know a bit more about how can I do this? Like, is this possible for me? Give us a shout. Either ping us an email or just tweet us or whatever. Or if you've got development help within your company, just go straight to the SDK, plug it into your app, and you can start accepting crypto payments. Pretty straightforward, to be fair. All right, cool. 33 minutes, Luca. Not bad. Not bad. We did all right this week. I think we stretched it way too far last time. Right. I think let's wrap it up for today. So hopefully, as we said, we've outlined the benefits of crypto payments, and that's what we were trying to do. So any questions, give us a shout. A lot of info unpacked today. A lot of stuff. And I think the core message is that crypto doesn't have to be scary or speculative. And I think at least for merchants, knowing what's coming is useful, right, Luca? Like we're talking about the future, but it's not that far away here, right?
Again, right? Millennials are already buying crypto. If you're a merchant, this is the future for you.
Yeah, and like wallets, I think is just a natural step as well. And like, yeah, cash is basically just going to be dead pretty soon. Like it's already on its way out. So yeah. All right, cool, man. Thank you, Luca. It's been a good session again today from our respective man caves. You didn't have your lighting issues.
Yeah.
And my cat hasn't come in, so that's a bonus. We will see you all next month. We don't know what we're going to talk about next month yet. We haven't decided. And we might even bring in a guest. We've started to feel like we need an extra person in here just so maybe me and Luca can make fun of them, or, you know, we'll make it a bit more spicy, something like that. So any suggestions, or if you'd like to join us as a guest, give us a shout. Also, you're more than welcome. Any final words, Luca, from you?
No, that's it. Like, watch out for Fuse and Voltage in a couple of next months, weeks and months. I think there's a lot of unrealized value there, or let's say it's time for Fuse ecosystem as a whole to rise up to its standards and to show to the world the real value it has.
That's what it feels like at the moment, man. We've been hiding around in the shadows for a couple of years. Now it's time to jump out and just like literally surprise everyone and be like, yeah, we've been here the whole time. It's going to be an interesting year. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you so much. And we hope you all enjoyed, and we will catch you all in a month's time. Keep it locked in the meantime, guys. Take it easy.